Let's hope that this works. Jay, I don't know if you're watching, but I'm about to message you, but welcome to Pages for once again. And he's looking at my phone trying to answer it. But we're just waiting on Jay to see. Okay, I'm right beside Jay.
All right, Mom. Double tap your screen, Mom.
Okay, I'm going to Facebook.
Yeah, I already added you as the guest.
Now let me see his phone.
Okay. Join as Jay Doll. I just got it. Double tap your screen, Mom. I did. Go to Facebook.
Yeah, I already added you as the guest.
Now let me see his phone.
All right, ask Jay to join on the video.
Join on the video.
I requested.
Okay, should he put while using this app?
Yes.
Only the time while using this app.
What?
I don't know. I can't see his phone.
What do you mean? Oh, wait. I got to go this way. I was doing it the wrong way. Just put it this way, Jay.
All right.
Now,
While using this app.
okay. Now I'm going to do that. Okay. Okay.
All right, ask Jay to join on the video.
I just did.
So, are you split screen with it? You're not split screen with us.
No, I'm not split screen with it right now.
This is adding.
It says connection failed. Hold on. Let me see something. One more time, Jay.
Okay.
Try one more time.
Request to appear in the video.
Yes.
Join as J Doll.
Yep. Hey.
There we go.
Yeah, there we go. Now we're
Oh my
cooking.
God.
We're
We are live.
Okay, you need to hang.
Welcome, J Doll.
Okay, now I can't see you guys.
Hold on. Hold on. This is, can you see us now?
No, I cannot.
What? Are you serious?
Yeah.
Can you see yourself?
Yes, I can.
Okay, well, I see half of them.
Oh. So
Now, you can't see him?
they can see me. Yes, I can.
I see half of them.
Are you on Wi-Fi, Jay?
No, I'm not. Wait, let me make sure it didn't kick back on.
Uh-oh, he's gone.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, this is great.
Real life. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Jay, what happened? You know, listen, tonight I don't even know what we're doing at this point. We were going to talk to Jay about family ties and hopefully Sharon, but I'm not sure what the technical difficulties is. Let's see. Send in a request. Hopefully this adds Jay. There we go, Jay. Turn your mic on. Oh, there you go.
Mike's
Hey,
on,
got you.
but I
Okay.
don't have you.
You can't see us?
Nope. Nope.
It's got to be on his end.
Yeah, somehow. I don't know.
Flip your phone sideways.
Okay.
I can see both of you.
You can, right? We can see me and us and Jay too.
Okay. Okay, I'm sideways.
All right. Did it flip? Did your
Yeah.
screen flip?
Yeah, but but it's still just me.
There's got to be an option for split screen. Hold on. Hold on. Hi, Cody. Hi, Eric. Can you guys see Jay? Jay, you can hear us, right?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay. Let's see. This one. No. Where's that? So what is he doing wrong?
That's not good.
Okay, Sharon says she can see both of us. So I guess it don't really matter if I can see you guys.
Let's run with it.
We're gonna
Yep.
run with it.
Yep.
Okay. Welcome to Pages from Rock Bottom. I'm Kim,
I'm Matt.
and tonight's special guest is Jay Dog. Say your name,
Thank
Jay.
you.
Where are you from?
From Salina, Ohio.
And who are you?
I am Matt's stepdad.
Ooh, where's mom? I hear mom back there.
She's sitting on the step smoking.
She got a sleeping bag.
No, she does not have a sleeping bag, but
Not
she
yet.
did turn the heat on yesterday, which
We did too. We did too.
Oh,
Last
no.
night. We turned the heat on last night.
Oh
You're
no.
gonna have to move, little dude. Oh my goodness. I'm gonna give you the pawpaw. All right. Now that everybody can hear us, everybody can see us. Yep, I can see both parties. Thanks, Cody. That's awesome. Appreciate you. All right, so we'd asked Jay to come on and talk about family ties, being on the other side of it with Matt and well, yeah, with Matt. They never knew me in active addiction, obviously. Probably a good thing. They probably wouldn't like me still to this day. I was not a good person. I can say today that I'm an okay person. I have a great personality, and well, you guys just wouldn't want to know me back then. I thank God that you didn't know me back then. But welcome, Cody, Eric. Welcome, Sharon, because I see you on there too. Let me share this with some people. We're gonna bring some people. Maybe.
Invite all button.
Invite all.
Yeah.
We need to invite all. All right. So welcome to another page or another episode of Pages with Rock Bottom. We've already introduced ourselves. We've had technical difficulties. Jay still can't see us. Other people can see us, but we're going to roll with it because that's just what we do.
So the main reason we got this idea is a lot of times, like any addict, we are self-centered and self-focused, and we never take into account how we affect the people around us until we finally start getting clean and sober and we start looking through life through different eyes, right? So then you start to see all the damage you cause. And like I said on a previous episode, like this old timer, he told me it takes twice as long to build a bridge that you've burnt. And and I said it last week when I started talking to my mom again. I told my counselor, like, I don't even know how to begin to repair this bridge. And the biggest advice she gave me was consistency. So that's where it started. And it's pretty crazy how when I used to live 5 minutes away from you guys, you never see me, you never heard of me, but now I live 3 hours away and we talk more now than we ever did when I was 5 minutes away. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So
He said, "Yes, sir."
I'm
Yes.
excited for everybody to hear the flip side of it and to hear what you guys go through, because that's something we never really think about.
Yeah. So I guess and Matt, you're going to have to help me with some of the timelines because there was a lot of stuff from the beginning that went on, and I may not be super clear on all of it. But I think you're going to remember most of what I say.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna
But
say that's probably not even a thing, Jay. I can't even remember 5 minutes ago. So yeah.
well, hopefully if he can remember 5 minutes and I can remember 5 minutes, we can put
Yeah.
10 together.
Yeah.
But I think so just a little backstory. I kind of came into the boys' life. I think Matt was 4 or 5, maybe
Four of those
6.
5 years.
I was 6.
Okay, you were 6. Um,
Yeah.
and it was kind of it wasn't a rushed thing, but things happened pretty fast. I was pretty young. I was very young. Didn't have never had kids. Basically, my biggest responsibility was keeping my dog alive,
Yeah.
which I needed my parents' help to do that. But moving forward, everything we kind of created our own little family, and things were really good when through the younger years and everything. And I don't know. I think maybe when you hit maybe 16, 15, 16 years old, I kind of started noticing. I knew you were doing some stuff. I'm not going to say nothing. I know we got to be careful what we say.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was a little small town naive boy, but Matt used to come home with one of his buddies, and they'd walk by, and I could tell they were, they'd been playing with some skunks,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, wow, kind of. Then I'm like, all right, kind of let it slide, and I would just kind of say, little things to his mom. I'm like, I think Matt might be doing something, but didn't really have, his grades were good as a kid in high school. He was a really smart kid, and so never got into trouble. So didn't really push the issue too much. But I knew it was going on. Didn't really know how to approach it. So, that goes on for a little bit. And then I remember one winter evening, Matt and his buddy put a truck in a ditch.
Level 3.
Level
Yeah.
3 truck in the ditch, huh?
Yeah.
Under the field.
So,
No, it was
so
on a
I
ditch
called,
in Oregon Road.
I called a friend of mine that had a rollback, and I said, hey, I need you to go get this truck out of this ditch. And instead of bringing it home, I had it sent to a friend of mine's house that had a shop. And we got it in the shop, and I started going through this truck, just ripping it apart, finding everything I knew that I kind of needed at the time. So take it back to the house, basically laid it out, and showed his mom and confronted him. And so when that first happened, I kind of knew it was going on. But then, I'm kind of mad. I'm like, all right, I got you now. So it's time to drop the hammer, kind of be the butthole of the whole situation because I'm like, okay, because my thoughts back in the day were like, look, dude, you're gonna waste your education, because like I said, he was a really smart kid.
Right,
You're
but
gonna waste this, huh?
okay, like, I'm not trying to interrupt you, but like
Yeah, go ahead.
at that point, like, were you, because you've never been a father, you're a new father, right? And you're learning things as you're going. What was your thought process? Like,
So
what?
I kind of instantly
You're
went
going,
back
"Mom."
to what happened to me when I was a kid and I would get caught doing something stupid,
Yeah.
my parents would basically take my life away for a month or two. You know, I would lose every privilege, and I lived way out in the country
Oh
with
yeah.
no one around.
Freaking woods. You're out there kicking
Yeah,
rocks.
so you know, my car would be gone. I had no life for quite a while,
Mm.
you know, and my parents wouldn't let up. If they said you're grounded for 2 weeks, it was 2 weeks. There was no letting up, no excuses, no nothing. You did your time and moved on. So I think when that happened, that's kind of what I kind of reverted to, because I really never had, when the boys were young, there was really never a reason to come down on them, because they were really good kids. I mean, they got into stuff, they did things, but most of it was what I called boys being boys, you know.
Yeah,
They were doing
facts.
boy stuff.
Yeah.
Never really I never really had any problems with them. So this was kind of the first step, you know, the first thing that I had ever come to where it was like, okay, we kind of got to drop the hammer on this. Well, so went that route for a little bit, and kind of, you know, time goes on, kind of eased up on it. Okay, he learned his lesson, blah, blah, blah. Kind of, all right, let's get back to letting him do things like that. And it kind of, and whether he probably just started hiding it better. I don't know.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, I don't think anything changed, but I just think he kind of quit being more upfront about it.
Yeah.
So kind of just moved on with it. And like I said, and this is where the timelines are going to get kind of blurry, because I'm not exactly sure. Like, and I don't even remember how it got brought to our attention when we found out he was doing some things that were worse.
The hard
Okay.
stuff. Yeah.
The harder stuff, yes.
Yeah.
And I don't remember if Sharon found some stuff in his room or if Jeff found it and brought it to Sharon's attention. But I think Sharon went through his room, because, you know, you started noticing some changes. Matt was starting to get a little bit distant. So, you know, so when Sharon, you know, found the stuff that she found, which this is where me being a little small town kid kind of, and I'm not going to use this as an excuse, but when she found what he did, I didn't even believe it, because the stuff that she found in my head, you could only use with a needle.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it could be done any other way. And when that kind of came out, you know, when you find out your kid's doing some of the lighter stuff, like I said, I was upset and I was mad. I was probably more mad than anything that he was doing it. But when it come to the other stuff, it almost kind of turned into being scared. Because I had never been around it. Other than one time I knew, I worked with a guy, and this is my only time interaction with it. I worked with a guy, and he was probably in his 50s. I started a new job in a bigger town, which kind of opened my eyes to a lot of things. But this guy was in jail, got out of jail, and he went to a halfway house, and his wife had worked at the same place we worked at. So he went through a halfway house, got clean, was doing good, got out of the halfway house, got back, moved back in with his wife, and within 5 days, he passed away from an overdose.
Yeah.
So that was my only experience with this substance. So when it kind of came out at first of what it was, kind of panic and scared, the being mad kind of went out the door.
Oh
It
yeah,
kind of
for
went
sure.
to, oh crap, the only person I've ever known that done this died,
Right.
you
Yeah.
know. So now I'm into oh crap mode. So I think Matt's mom got him into a some kind of rehab thing in Lima.
So I was 17 at that time.
Okay.
This was after my first overdose. I was told this story on a Wednesday.
And see, I
So,
didn't even know that.
yeah, so I took a giant concoction of stuff, and
Yep.
I passed out for like two days, I think. And when I woke up, Jeff was sitting in my computer chair, and I'm like, "Where's Brad at?" And he's like, "Matt, I think we got to get you some help." Well, when you're 17 in the state of Ohio, they will not accept you into a treatment facility. So I had to uh, claim I was suicidal, which I mean, those thoughts were kind of beginning at that time. But I had to claim I was suicidal, and I went to psych ward in St. Rita's for 3 days.
Yep.
And during that 3 days, I called mom and I was like, "Listen here, you're gonna come get me, or I'm gonna walk home." You know what I mean?
I thought your
So
mom took you to that.
I did.
she did.
Okay. Now, here's my thing. Where were me and your mom at for 2 days where you were passed out and we didn't notice it?
Hmm.
I don't know,
That's a really good question. Like,
but I don't even
I mean,
remember what really happened. You know
yeah,
what I
because
mean?
He was back out for 2 days.
because if unless me and her were gone for the weekend, I can't imagine if we were home, we wouldn't have noticed you slept for 2 days.
I just remember Jeff being there when I woke up, and then I think you guys had Amy come over to talk to me,
Well, and I know she did at one time.
but
But see,
I
I
don't know.
don't think Jeff remembers that either.
Hmm. But yes, when you told that story the other night, I didn't know that was at our house when you were 17. I thought that was maybe after you had moved out.
I'm pretty sure I was home.
Okay.
Okay,
so when he was passed out, like, and after you guys found him and he put yourself in the psych ward,
Yeah.
did you guys feel like your guys' trust had been broken? Did you guys feel like you guys wasn't doing enough, or what you guys did
Well,
wrong? Like, what was
there's
it like for you guys?
so as far, yeah, you definitely feel like you let him down. Like
Oh yeah,
something went wrong, something went awry somewhere.
yeah.
Did we were we too rough on him? Were we not rough enough on him? Um and I'm gonna tell you guys this right now. When it comes to, I've watched your guys' thing, and Matt will talk about, depression and things like that. I do not understand depression.
Right.
Okay. I've never, thank God, I've never had to deal with it. I've never been a depressed person. Never had suicidal thoughts. Never, I wake up every day trying to conquer the next day.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's, but I've never had to deal with that part of it. So I still to this day struggle understanding people's depression. And I think a lot of people that don't go through it, if they say, "Oh, I understand," I think if you don't deal with it, you don't understand. Because I will honestly say, I don't understand depression. I know it's a real thing, but I don't understand it.
You ever been to
And
jail, Jay?
no, never.
Okay, so that's a bad analogy. So just picture yourself being locked in like in 4x4 or 8x8 cell in the dark, talking to yourself continuously, right?
Yep.
That's what depression feels like. It's loneliness, feeling withdrawn, being lost inside yourself. Nobody else exists. You don't want to be around nobody. You avoid people at all costs. It's it's misery, right? So just picture yourself in that room, and you'll get a kind of sense of a feeling of like what it feels like to be depressed, because that's exactly what it feels like you're locked inside yourself.
And you know, and I, you know, maybe I've just always been blessed that I've always had either family or friends. You know, I've never been alone for any length of time. You know,
Yeah.
whether it was going to work and whether I had friends at work or friends back home, or you know, or I was with my parents. You know, I was you know, I never had to deal with that.
Oh, it's a terrible disease for sure. It's
Well,
a
yeah,
it's awesome.
yeah. So yeah, that's something that, you know, I've heard Matt talk about and you've talked
Mhm.
about,
Yep.
and it's just something that when you don't experience it,
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
really hard to wrap your head around. For me anyway.
Well, yeah, because it's hard to understand something that you don't understand.
Yes. 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 It was kind of like trying to teach my wife football before she started watching it all the time.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And
But
Matt trying to teach me how to fish one time, I mean, I can fish, but I can't really catch one, And
well,
he's like, so
you got to
I
stay
put it
with
out
it.
there, and he's like, when you get it, he's like, you got to yank on it, you know what I mean, to catch it. And I'm like, okay. So I get out there, and I'm fishing, right? And so I get it, and I mean, like, I must have yanked its mouth out
She
or something.
yanked its mouth. She whipped that thing.
Right. I get it. I totally get it. So that was great. I'll never forget that. I'll remember that as long as I live. But thank God that you never had to actually, deal with that or encountered it ever in
Yeah.
life. Hopefully you never have to. You know what I mean? Maybe
Yeah.
you'll be one of those blessed ones that you don't ever have to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like I said, I've been a very blessed person. You know, with my immediate family. Um, my I've had some really, really good close friends over the years. I mean, it's changed over the years, but I've had a real good close group of friends. You know,
You've had
uh
connection. That's
yeah,
important.
you know, going and working different. You know, I've only
Yeah.
basically had two jobs since Matt knew me.
Yeah.
I've only worked at two places, but you know, I developed a lot of friendships at those places. You know, I haven't been at my old job for almost 8 years, and there are still guys that connect with me, that I go see. Um, Cody, who was on here, he's someone that I became really good friends with at the job I work at now. Um, but yeah, I've always had, like I said, I've always had a good group. And then of course, me and Sharon, um, over the years have probably become, you always talk about your best friend, and I know it's an analogy, but she probably is. Me and her,
Oh yeah.
for the
Yes.
last, 20 plus years, we've done everything together. And whether it was her going to do something with me that she didn't really want to do, or if it's me going to, do something with her that
Yes.
I may not be that into, but we make the best of it and we end up just enjoying the time we
Together.
have together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
That's
So,
marriage, right?
um,
Yeah.
what's that?
Compromise. That's marriage.
Well, yeah,
Compromise.
that's one little part of it, but
Yeah.
I think our friendship has, helped us overcome a lot of the things that we have.
Went through.
And don't get me wrong, me and her haven't been through a lot. The stuff with Matt and everything was hard, and we went through some stuff with his brother, but our I think our friendship you know, and me and her are locked, and, you know, we now don't get me wrong, we didn't always see eye to eye on things. But for the most part, me and her have always been locked in and, you know, have similar goals and things like that. But so to get back with, you know, with Matt, he did that little stint in St. Rita's,
Yeah.
which I kind of started getting into my head like at that time, like, and I don't want to blame the area because I don't think you can do that. But I kind of started getting in my head like we got to get him around different people or something. Something had to change.
You did.
And didn't know how to do it or whatever. And I don't remember how long it was after the St. Rita's thing that we sent him to California. It couldn't have been real long.
I don't remember how.
Yeah. Well, your mom said you were 18, but
Yeah.
but I remember when it came to that point. So this is where, you know, and here's probably some of it too that falls on me. You know, I never really sat down and asked, dude, why are you doing this? You know, what's going on? And I think a lot of people, well, maybe not a lot of people, but I think there's quite a bit of people that can attest to this. So I seen there was a problem, okay? And as a guy, and when you see someone you love, and it can be a child, a parent, a friend, when you see a problem in anything, your first instinct is to go, I need to fix this. This needs fixed.
You become
You
a
know,
problem solver.
at any cost. You know, when we decided to send Matt out, I basically told Sharon, start doing some research. She was on the phone. I said, I don't care what it cost. I'll come up with the money. We got to get him out of here because I was like, we have to try to help him and I was just dead set on this has got to get fixed. This is how we help him. So she did some research, got on the phone, got him booked, got a, you know, plane ticket, the whole nine. And that was, you know, that's one day that I'll never forget is the day we took him to the airport because you could almost tell he was starting to crash out by the time we got to Dayton and had to sit, you know, they actually let us back in the back through the terminal where you're supposed to have a ticket, but I don't remember. Sharon said something about him being sick or something. Yeah, it was a medical emergency, so they let us back there. And we sat, and I could just see it. You could see it in his eyes. You know, you could almost sense he was like, this is about to get real. And you could tell he was,
You getting sick?
Yeah, I'm about
yeah,
to
you could
get
tell he
sick.
was starting to get sick and, you know, kind of, I don't want to say he ever wanted to back out, but you could tell the nerves were definitely real. So we, you know, and then so we get him on the plane and he flies out, you know, some tears, some hugs, wishing him the best, you know, trying to reassure him, hey, bud, this is what you need. You need to do this to get yourself better. Which was the only thing I could think of at the time. You know, get him away from this area around different people with some professionals that know how to deal with this. And I'm going to be honest. When me and Sharon walk back all the way through the airport and we get in the car and I just kind of sighed. I was like, I kind of felt some relief.
Yeah.
Like, for the first time in a while, we didn't have to worry about him. You know, it was just kind of like a little bit of a weight lifted off your shoulders. Like, okay, somebody else is going to take care of him right now, and you know, you're hoping for the best. And I don't know, Matt, you're going to have to let me know how that first trip out there went. You know, I know when you came home, you were a different person. You were definitely better than when you left.
Yeah. I think when I came back, so there's different stages in recovery. And when I came home, I was in what they call a pink cloud. Like it was it was the first time I felt real happiness again. Like I had real feeling.
You're in contemplation.
Yeah, everything's great. You know what I mean? I feel better than I have in years. So, but the problem was the whole time I was out there, I never truly worked on me. I did.
And
I didn't. I never worked through my dad dying. I never worked through any of my defects. I never faced anything that truly drove me to do what I do. You know, and then I come home and I go right back around the same people doing the same stuff, and that snowball effect, it got worse from there.
and 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 I was going to bring that up that here a little bit later. I know when you first came home, everything was great. You know, you were like you said, you had ambition. I'm going to go work. I'm going to pay you and mom back. I'm going to do this. I'm like, awesome. Whatever you need, bud. And then, you know, obviously things kind of go in a different direction. And
Yeah.
of course, we didn't notice it at first. You know, you got a girlfriend or met someone, which we didn't know. You'd brought her
Yeah.
over to the house a couple times. She was nice, you know. Didn't know nothing about her. But then, of course, you know how the grapevine is. You start hearing things and this and that, and I kind of, it's like, well, you know, everybody talks.
Right.
And then, you know, you know, you can slowly start to see the descent again. And I think you had moved out.
Yeah.
And then at that point, you know, when we kind of knew what situation you were in, or when, at least when I did, you know, I went from, you know, like I said, this was kind of a roller coaster. When you first got into it, I was mad. And then I went into kind of protective mode and trying to do everything I could to fix it, and being scared and things like that. And then, you know, when it come back around, and when you came back and then it started going sideways again and this and that, then it goes back to being, you know, at least me, and I'm not speaking for your mom, but me, it was kind of like back to being angry again.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
it's kind of like, and this is the way I can explain it. You know, you spend 2 hours under your kitchen sink trying to fix a water leak, and it's uncomfortable, and you're mad, and you're trying to get this thing to quit leaking, and you finally get it. And then you turn the water on, and it leaks twice as bad as it did before you fixed it. And you're ready to throw a pipe wrench through the window, and that's kind of the, you know, that's kind of the feeling. It's like, God, you know, it almost, it's almost like, God dang it, why?
Yeah.
It almost makes you mad. And you know, and then that's when I kind of, me personally, kind of washed my hands of it. And, you know, I told your mom, I said, we tried, you know, I said, I don't know what else to do. Didn't even know how to get you back at that point. And I told her, I said, you know, I'm never going to tell you you can't see Matt, or he can't you know, but I said, I don't want him around because, you know, and here we go with my little small town mind, you know, the only thing I knew of people in that situation when I worked where I used to work was they were out robbing people, stealing, trying to get their next fit. You know, I didn't know what you were doing until later on, when you know, after you were clean and you were telling me what, you know, some of the stories.
Tell
And
them the stories.
I'm
Yeah.
like, well, crap, I guess I didn't have to worry about you robbing me because you probably had more money than I did. But,
Yeah.
but you know, so I kind of went through a long stretch of, you know, I think and dude, I don't know, you may not remember this, but I remember bumping into you one morning at the marathon station.
I don't know. I went there
And
about every morning to get chocolate milk and Skittles.
yeah, I was on my way, and I don't remember why I stopped in there before work, but I stopped in there, ran into you, said hey, and we just kind of said hey, whatever, and you went your way and I went my way, and I remember going home that after work and told your mom, I'm like, yeah, I ran into Matt this morning. She's like, oh yeah, and I'm like, yeah, he don't look good. I'm like, he
Yeah.
he don't look good. I'm just letting you know, he don't look good, but so, you know, we went through that long stretch, like you know, you've talked about it, where we didn't really have a lot of contact with each other.
No.
Thought about you all the time, did, but at the same time, you know, me and your mom would talk, and I told her, I said, no one's going to be able to help Matt until Matt wants help, and
That's it.
I figured that out when we sent you out to California. We sent you out there. You
Yeah.
didn't go, hey, will you please get me help? No, we said, hey, you're going to go get help.
Yeah.
You didn't ask for it. We kind of forced that on you. Um so um I'm not so I kind of got into the thing like, well, you know, either he's going to figure it out or he's going to live this life or he's going to end up dying. You know,
Yeah.
I kind of knew those were about the options. You were either going to figure it out and figure out how to help yourself, or um, or you were going to end up probably dead. Is kind of
Yeah.
the way I had it. Already had it. You know, was kind of almost making peace with it.
Ooh, acceptance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you
Um.
have to. You have to accept
Well,
it.
you know, you kind of want to. You kind of try to prepare to minimize the hurt.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you
Um.
mentally prepare yourself for the worst
Yeah.
so that way, like when it does happen, I still
Um.
do that to this day. I mentally prepare myself for stuff. Like my brother Bobby, he's still out in active addiction, and I'm waiting for that phone call, right? I'm waiting for that phone call because he thinks that he's not gonna get some type of pressed fentanyl. Excuse me, but I'm gonna say it. Pressed fentanyl, and um, he said flip it. We say well, but pressed fentanyl and die. You're like, you know what I mean? So it's just like it's like playing Russian roulette with yourself. You never really truly know what's going to happen. You could die at any second. I overdosed, I don't know how many times. Um, 2 times in one night on the same stuff. You know what I mean? Same stuff. Had an outer body experience. Got to see myself getting thrown in the tub, cold water, and getting smacked, being wake up, bitch. You know what I mean? And it was a terrible experience, but it didn't stop me. That's the insanity of it. But I feel like that where you guys were at, like you have to, you have to stop enabling us and hold us accountable. And you just have to sit back and wait either for someone to get better or that phone call that you're never going to see them again.
Yep. And so, with that being said, you know, I don't, and like I said, my timelines aren't real good, but I do remember, and there's things distinctly that I remember. I remember coming home from work and your mom telling me that you had gotten arrested.
Yeah.
And I kind of looked at her and went, he'll be out by Monday. And she goes, I don't think so. I'm like, yeah, we'll see. Kind of know how our court system around here works.
Was this the first time or second time?
Well, I'm gonna say that it's the time that you spent the longest amount of time in there before you went to Chillicothe.
Yeah, so that was the second time.
Okay, so that had been the second time.
Yeah.
And I know you did quite a bit of a pretty big stint. I mean, I don't know how long.
I think
But-
it was 68 days.
Okay. I thought it was a little longer, but that could be.
It might have been more than that.
Well, so we'll say 3. So you did almost 3 months, we'll say.
Yeah.
And I kept telling her, and I think at this point you had started talking to her again, calling her here and there. Because I remember hearing from you when you were in for a little bit, and I kept telling her, I said, this is the best thing for him. This is the best thing for him. He has no choice but to dry out. And then I think you told us, hey, I'm getting myself into a rehab place in Chillicothe.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Pike County.
and I'm like, I told Sharon, I said, great. But we didn't do nothing for you then. It was like, this was on you.
Yep.
So I don't remember how long you were there, but I remember we went down and saw you. They had some kind of picnic or something.
Yeah. So that was when I went to Chillicothe, that's when I went to my first transitional
Yes.
ACM.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
We were already together.
Yeah.
And I could, me and your mom went down there and spent a few hours down there.
No, we took him back. He came home for the weekend. We took him back that day.
Okay, maybe that's what it was. But
That
they
was,
had a picnic or something, and I remember we kind of hung out for
Not very long.
a while because that's the day the tornado hit.
Yeah.
When we got home.
They wanted us to stay.
Yeah.
We said no, thank God.
But after seeing you then, kind of, and the connection started, we kind of started reconnecting a little bit, and could really see a little bit of growth. I kind of knew you wasn't there, and then I think you called your mom and said, "Yeah, I'm leaving. I'm coming back to Salina to turn myself in because I don't want to be here no more." And I don't remember how long after that little stint was, and me and your mom were both confused, like, well, you seem to be doing good, and couldn't understand why. And then I remember talking to you, and you told me why you wanted to leave that place and go somewhere else. And and I'm not going to say why you left,
yeah.
because I'm not going to shit on nobody's rehab place or anything like that. But it made sense to me. I went, okay, I understand that. It was something that I could actually understand. Do you even remember what you said? Why you wanted to leave there?
I know the program wasn't for me.
Well, you said it became more about the church than it was about the rehab and getting you better. Does that ring a bell?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a difference, and I'll shit on their parade. I don't care, because there's a difference. You can't force something on somebody that's not there. Like, it's okay to have a great relationship with God, but you can't expect somebody to get better just by what God, you're saying, God's going to heal you. God's going to this, God's going to what? Well, sometimes it
Hi,
takes more than
PJ.
just
Sorry.
God. You know what I mean? but sometimes it takes more than just God. Sometimes it takes
Yeah.
a good counselor, coping skills, learning how to live your life sober, because recovery and addiction is something that you have to live with every day for the rest of your life, right? It's not
Yeah.
something that, yeah, you can believe in God. I believe in God. I have a great relationship with my higher power, right? But that doesn't mean that just God is going to get me through my days. It works for most people, but that's not something that was working for Matt, because Matt was having to work for the church, get what money he was making to the church, and then he wasn't working on himself internally, right? So if you don't add recovery pieces that are supposed to be there to help you stay sober, you're not going to stay sober. And Matt was
Yep.
about not to be sober.
Yeah.
So, we talked about it. I ended up leaving treatment, but then I went to jail. But I didn't relapse or nothing. You know what I mean? Like it was just a thing, and we were both just in different places. He needed a totally different place in his recovery. He needed to go to a rehab that was going to help him, and he found that rehab. Um, I got to go home after spending 3 days in jail and start working and work on me, like my life outside of rehab. But I've already sucked everything up like a sponge, you know what I mean? I was running with it, like, and he still says to this day, like, I'm his counselor. I don't feel like his counselor, but he says I'm his counselor.
Counselor, best
And
friend.
Kim, I didn't realize that you guys met when he was in Chillicothe. I thought you guys
no
met
we
when he
we
went to Waverly.
no we met when he was in Ed's place, and we were we were just doing things,
So
Yeah,
basically, when
I
it comes
bet you
down
were
to
doing
it,
things.
so
we were
Pages from Rock Bottom is real raw truth, right?
yes.
She was a one
Hmm.
night stand that turned into 7 years later.
Same. Like, I wasn't even like, we were going to go get him, and I told my friend, like, I told Danielle, I was like, turn around. I'm not going to go get him. I'm not doing this. And she was like, you are not standing this boy up. You said you were going to, go get him. We're going to get him. So we ended up going to get him. Like, and that one night stand, like, turned into, like, we're sitting here today.
Hmm.
I couldn't ask for a better person. Like,
Yeah.
Struggles.
we've had our struggles, you know what I mean? And I may have,
I was still a piece of shit.
we'll just leave it there, and things happened, and I may have did some things to him that I probably shouldn't have done, but he did some even worse things to me, and he fucking deserved it. So it is what it is.
Hey.
But the thing about it is, like, he worked on himself, right? Like, when we get into situations and we give up everything, and I mean absolutely everything. We give up our kids, we give up our lives, we give everything just to get high. And then when that's all we know, and then we try to get sober, we're not hearing what people have to say to us. We don't give a fuck what people have to say to us when we're getting high. We don't care. The only thing that we care about is how we're going to get that next fix. You know what I mean? Until we do, I mean, hit that rock bottom, right? We hit that bottom and we don't have anywhere else to turn. We're sitting in a jail cell. And most people, they still don't get it. They'll be like, oh, go to rehab. You can be my brother. Oh, we're gonna go to rehab and then we're gonna leave. We're gonna jet out. We're gonna be there 5 seconds and we're jetting out. We don't even give the program a chance, right? We sometimes it's just really hard. I know for on the other end of it, because now I'm on the other end of it. But I've been through it, so I understand what he's going through. But there's still times that I truly don't understand what the fuck he is thinking. What the fuck is wrong with you? But then I have to rewind it, and I'm like, you were that person. You were him, right? And I'm like, what the fuck was I thinking when I gave my kids up for not one time, 2 times, right? And trying to mend those relationships with the people that you hurt is one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life.
Yeah, I can see
Um,
that.
It is. So that's why, like, when I about cried, sorry. But, that's one of the things, like, I really wanted to talk to you guys about on this end of it, because we can only imagine what you guys felt like. It had to have sucked. You know, you've had to almost given up hope. I know what it feels like to think that you're going to get that phone call and be like, man, are they dead? Are they dead? Like, and you don't hear from them for days, and you don't hear nothing. I'm not a peep, and you're like, man, are they dead? Are they dead? And then you go,
I
And
think,
I'm not gonna lie. There was a long stretch there where I did give up hope. Like I said, I
yeah,
washed my hands and
you
said,
have to.
I got to step away from this because,
It consumes you.
you know, life,
Sometimes.
regular life has enough stress
yeah,
to where you don't need somebody else's outside stress affecting you too.
yeah,
Absolutely.
Um, and
Absolutely.
and here's the thing. I was never ever prepared to cope with it. I mean, like I
Mm,
said, never was around it,
that's
never
good.
dealt with it.
Yeah.
Didn't have any friends that did it. I mean, I didn't have the coping mechanisms to deal with it and I'm not going to blame my age because by now when he got into it hard, I was into my 30s,
Yeah.
but I still, you know, but I'm pretty sure I fully matured at 14 and haven't matured a day since.
yeah.
Um,
That's
so,
good. Yeah.
but I do know, you know, when I remember we took him back to Waverly um, and that's, you know, we really kind of started seeing the change. He started talking about you, um, you know, started talking about this girl. And then, you know, we get an invite to come down, meet you, you know, hey, we're living in a barn. Um,
yeah.
I'm like,
A
oh,
garage.
sweet.
A garage.
Sweet.
Garage.
No,
Okay,
actually,
garage.
you guys met me when we were living at my son's house.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
that's right. The trailer.
yes. Yeah.
I
And then
remember.
we came up for the weekend, and that's
Yep.
when you guys met me. And then he ended up coming back to your guys' house that time because, you know, there was a whole mess of that.
And
Yeah,
then we
for
met
sure.
back in Dayton and we dropped him back off.
Yeah. And it was a
Yeah.
whole thing. Um,
But
but you know,
I do remember telling Sharon after the first time we met, um, I said, if anybody's gonna keep that boy in line, right there
yeah.
she is. Cause I
Yeah.
said, that's 120 pounds of pure mean right there. I said I said she gonna I said she gonna keep that boy in line.
yeah.
I said there ain't no getting over that girl. She's I said he ain't gonna get away with nothing. And I said that's exactly what he needs.
She's she's probably the first person in my life that when she calls me out on my bullshit, I don't try to avoid it. I'm actually willing to listen and take her criticism. Because
And
normally
you
when
know
I
you're
got,
caught. If she
yeah,
calls you out on something, you know you probably don't
I've
really have
never
a
had
foot to
anybody
stand
that
on.
holds me accountable like she does.
Yep.
It
Yep.
don't matter if it's something small. She'll call me out on it, like, motherfucker, you never put shit back where you get it from. You know what I mean?
Hey Kim, that runs in their family.
Yeah.
Do you constantly shut cupboard doors? Because all I do all day is shut cupboard doors.
Oh, well, you know, I'm constantly just putting like Windex away that, you know, he gets out every morning to clean his glasses or his shoes. You know, they're usually all in it. He'll bring 50 pairs of shoes downstairs and he'll just leave them in one
Well,
spot.
that's 50-50. But
But
no, I remember back to the family aspects of it. Like, you know better than anybody, when it comes to her kids, mom's not one to really show her emotions, especially when it comes to her being hurt, sad, or anything like that. She never really let us see that side of her.
Your mom's a
So,
very strong person that went through a lot.
yeah. So, I'm in Ed's place, my first inpatient, and
mm,
I remember being on the phone with her. And this was the first time I felt like mom actually got vulnerable with me because she was like, what did I do wrong? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like that fucking hit me like an arrow to the heart. I'm like, that's when I got real with her though, and I wanted to reassure her. It's nothing you did. It's nothing any of you guys did. It was my choices. You know what I mean?
Yep. And Matt, you probably can attest to this. When we first got together, well, I'm not going to say got together. When we first moved in together and kind of started becoming a family, me and your brother had a very close connection at first. I mean, me and him had a really close connection, and I tried. I maybe not as hard as I probably should have, but I tried to get you to come along and
Yeah.
do this and do that, but you were definitely a mama's boy. And
Oh, yeah.
on the flip side of that, you were the baby.
Oh,
And
yeah.
and there was not a lot of you like even I didn't really there was no disciplining you because I pretty much mama bear's coming out of the closet
Yeah.
and I'm gonna get mauled if when it come to your brother, it was take care of that boy. You go take care of that boy. So I did. Um, but when it come to you, you were mama's little cub, and you were definitely a mama's boy. So
But that's another aspect of it from your side too, right? Because I feel that now in me and her situation, like as a stepdad, I'm constantly thinking, what, okay, what is my limit? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
how far am I
yeah.
allowed to go when it comes to discipline? Or,
It is the single hardest thing to figure out and do. Honestly, it
yeah,
is. So, like I said, I was pretty young when me and your mom got together.
yeah.
So I was all
That's why
about,
I have such great
and
taste in music.
yeah, well, and you guys were young, and you guys, hey, let's go here, let's go. You remember the days when your mom worked Saturdays.
Yeah,
That was we had free for all days. It was, we
yeah,
would go here, we would go there, we were doing all kinds of stuff, and that was awesome.
yeah,
I wasn't being a parent at the time. I was just being the guy that was in charge of you two hanging out. That's,
yeah.
that's what I was at the time. I
I
think,
was just telling Kim the other night, every Friday night, you'd come pick us up in the Firebird. We'd go
yep,
to Fort Wayne, either go
yep,
to Hooters, and
yep,
then we're going to arcade. And then on the way
yep,
back, Jay's going to stop and get us a Red Bull, and
yep,
we're going to get some licorice. And then we're going to go
yep,
home and play
yep,
Sled Storm.
yep,
Yeah,
yep,
Sled Storm, yes.
yep. Or we're gonna play some Madden,
Yeah,
or um, yeah. I mean, it started out, it was just a Saturday thing, and then it turned into, and this is a good story. Do you remember? I remember I had gotten off work a little late because I was on second shift, and I was supposed to come pick you guys up on a Friday night.
you came in the Chevette.
So I came in the work car. I didn't want to drive all the way across town, and I pulled up, and your brother came out and went, "Where's the Firebird?" And I said, it's at my house. And he goes, "Well, go get it." And I'm like, fuck. And I did it. I don't, dude, I had a freaking 10-year-old manipulating me. So I drove all the way across town, got my other car, came all the way back, and picked you guys up.
Yeah, that's it.
But
That's
that
great.
Chevette was fun in the winter in a Walmart parking lot, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, we go hauling ass, hit a shopping cart. Boom.
Yeah. Playing derby with a shopping cart.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
All you had to do is put oil in that thing, it'd go.
Yep. I never changed the oil. I just kept adding it to it.
Uh, I
But
used to look at that thing like it was the biggest piece of shit, and now I want one.
I know. I
Yeah.
miss it. I still see him pop up on Marketplace once in a while, and I'll be like, Oh boy. But yeah, so like I said, it took me I don't even know if I ever really did learn how to be a a true full blown parent. But like you said, it's hard being a step parent and going, where's that boundary at?
Yeah.
Where's that line? And where do you turn it over? Because there were times I would look at your mom and go, okay, it's on you now. You tell me what
Yeah.
needs to happen, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
So
What? What is it?
I don't know where we're at. We've just been going.
We've just been going. He's doing great. He's doing good. And I've been just trying to let y'all talk about it. I'm sorry I jumped in because I was like, I'll downside their fucking bullshit. I don't give a
no,
fuck.
you're good. Hey, hold on a second. Hi, Teresa.
Hi, Teresa.
I just
Where's
wanted to shout
Teresa?
out Teresa, PJ, and Alyssa.
Oh, hi. I didn't see him. Hi,
Yep.
guys. You see him?
So
Mm-mm.
you guys. I hope you guys are ready for this. You had me on here, so your fame's about to go through the roof.
What? Yeah.
So we're trying to get them numbers up.
We're just trying to get this going, and right now, we're starting off slow, and it's going good.
Yep.
It's going good. We just
Yep.
had some technical difficulties at first.
Well, I was supposed to be getting a fancy dancy mic in the mail and maybe some cameras and lights, but we'll
You
make it
want
work.
these?
Well,
You want these?
yeah, we'll make
I
that
can't see you, remember, Kim?
Oh
We can't figure
shoot!
that part out.
We'll
I'm
make
so
that.
sorry.
We'll make that trip up there soon.
Yeah,
And
Okay.
these stuff.
yeah.
All right.
But like I said earlier, pretty much since we started this, I really wanted to get the family side of it because normally we're so focused on the addiction itself, the family side kind of gets lost in it,
Yeah.
and there's
And
so
there's,
many parents and siblings that feel helpless and hopeless, and hearing hearing what our relationship was and what it is now, that's a light that shines so bright to so many people.
yep. I mean, yeah. And, kind of, it's to the point where, on Sundays or Saturdays, whenever you call your mom and I end up stepping in or talking, and we bullshit for a few hours.
Yeah.
It's that's the kind of thing you know that you miss, that you go, we kind of threw away a lot of years, you
Oh
know
yeah.
and you can't get them back. You can't get those years back, but all you can do is move forward and
Make some
um
new memories.
yeah, make new memories.
Yes. Yes.
And you know we don't get together um as much as I know we'd like to. But when we do, it's always a great time. We enjoy it. So, like you said, you get to make them new memories, catch up, things like that. I get to see my grand dogs, which I
Yeah.
miss. I kind of miss them. I miss my little boomer.
Oh,
He
he's an
hasn't shit on
asshole. It's fine.
he hasn't shit on my rug since the last time he was here. So
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you. We about got in an argument the other night. Boomer pissed her off real bad, and she's like, "I'm sending you to Papua." I was like, "No,
I,
you are not."
I'm taking him. I'm taking him.
I said, he's my dog. I'll give him to Jay if I want to. He said, no, he's our dog. I said, no, he's my dog. My dog.
You can't give him away. He's your next stud.
Yeah, I know. I'm not giving him away. He just had me really mad.
He just still has some puppy in him. He just got a little wild and stuff.
He's a
Yeah,
good boy.
he is. He's a great dog. You can't ask for much, but more better dog than him. But he is a great dog.
Yeah, I
Is
like
there
him. You
anything
know
else you
me.
want to add to this?
What is it?
Anything else you wanted to bring up? Talk to him about?
Something he said a little bit ago is about how we threw away so many years, and I was just sitting here thinking like that's pretty much been some of my life is for pretty much a giant lesson, right? Because I had to totally destroy myself to
Okay, I lost him.
Yeah.
Hey, Matt, we lost your audio. Yeah, his mic.
Here. You.
Yep. Oh, is it over? Because Eric just put, this has been dope. Y'all killed it.
It must be.
Did it say the lives ended?
No. I can still see you. They're hold on. Not over. Hold on. Oh, that's so weird. You're still moving and you're not even in here. It's only 8:25. Everyone's gonna leave because Kim is frozen. They're frozen.
Careful, because they can still hear us.
We can't get it unmuted for some reason.
Oh, good Lord. Ask her if she can hear me. Eric, go Birds. How about them Giants?
Yeah, we can hear and see you.
Okay, well, I'm not too much of a one-man show. I'll start telling jokes, and then everybody will leave.
Broncos run.
Yeah, they do.
Oh,
The
dear.
AFC West may run through them this year. Hey, Jeff, what do you think about them Penn State Nittany Lions? They gonna keep their coach, or they got to move on from him? What do you think about that? Eric, I don't know if it's him. I really don't. I don't think you can blame that kid for all their problems. Yeah, we'll see. They're going to end up upsetting Ohio State, because that would just be the Penn State thing to do. uh, it's probably what'll happen. All right, everybody. I'm going to get off here since they can't get their